This week in Parshas Mishpatim, the Torah begins, Ve'ele Mishpatim, Asher Tosem Lifneim. These are the laws that you shall place in front of them, talking much about the halachas of business, the halachas of ben adam lechaveira, being honest with other people. Tremendous amount of halachas in this week's parasha. Rashi begins the parasha with a question. There seems to be a problem, and the problem is with how the Torah began the parasha. With a vav, ve'ele mishpatim, and these are the laws. What does that mean, and? That's not how you begin a parasha. Sounds like, says Rashi, that there's a connection between this week's parasha, Parshas Mishpatim, and last week's parasha, Parshas Yisro. What exactly is the connection? Explains the Trumas Hadeshen in an incredible way. This week's parasha is full of the halachas ben adam lechaveira, how to treat other people, how to be honest in business, to lend money to people, not to distress others. And as a person can sometimes think, they're not so important. These are nice suggestions. These are nice ways of acting. But they're not really halachas like keeping Shabbos and keeping kashrus and being mechabed your parents. Those are the real ones. These ones are like nice suggestions. Explains the Trumas Hadeshen, no, absolutely not. And that's the connection between this week's parasha and last week's parasha. Just like in last week's parasha, Parshas Yisro, the parasha of the Kabbalah Torah, everything came from Har Sinai, so too, everything in this week's parasha also came from Har Sinai, and we have to treat it accordingly. The story goes with the Heilige Chofetz Chaim that he was traveling on a train, and he had with him a beautiful pair of leather fur gloves that somebody had given to him as a present. And at one point during the journey, he tried to open up the window, and with a bit of frustration, he managed to open up the window, but as he opened up the window, the glove got pulled from within his hand and fell out of the window. Without even taking a moment to think, the Chofetz Chaim immediately removed the other glove and threw it out the window. When the people over there said, Rebbe, why'd you do that? I understand one fell, but why'd you throw out the other one? At least keep one. The Chofetz Chaim said something astounding. He said somebody's going to be walking by the railways, and he's going to see one glove, and he's going to say, what a shame, where's the other one? So I wanted to give him the other glove, so he should have it. Now it could be that most of us would do the same thing, but the Chofetz Chaim did it without even thinking, because he understood how somebody else may feel. This week's parasha is full of how we have to be sensitive to somebody else's feelings. We have to be sensitive to other people's business activities, to their honesty. And it's a lesson for ourselves, as Rashi says in the beginning, just like last week's parasha was from Har Sinai and needs to be kept, so too, with the same severity, we have to keep the halachas and mitzvahs mentioned in this week's parasha. Have a wonderful Shabbos.